Maybe. I don't know. She's gone. You're still here, though. Ooh. I don't think I can ask her out on a date yet, but... It's a very high...
Waves are beginning to die down. Look at those little bastards.
Suggestion. Alright, let me see if I... Can I pull this out? Interact?
The Suzerainty box is heavy and slightly welcomed. You soon figure out the basic conceit. Each player, that's where each turn, as you leaf through the pages, the actual scoring.
Okay, so it's not going to give me that. Alright, let's try suggestion here. See what we got. Wow, I had like one thing.
The waves are beginning to die down. Look at those little bastards. Simmer down. Simmer down, bastards.
There.
The waves are beginning to die down.
You think she really needs more of that after a man died at sea?
Well, what do I do then?
What if I told you it is actually possible to go on a date sober?
I'm listening.
Before recorded history, men and women were able to do simple, very primitive things together sober. Acknowledge the situation and keep it basic.
I'm drunk. I don't know if you noticed, so I usually ask people to drink with me.
I have, and I don't really.
She hesitates.
You just want to go for a walk. What kind of a monster doesn't want to go for a walk? Walks are innocent.
This time, though, imitate drum roll. I thought I'd ask you for a walk.
Just a walk? I don't know, officer. I would not have taken you for an innocent perambulator.
She feigns extreme surprise. I am. That's why you should definitely agree. Is that a yes, ma'am? Is the walk happening? I am. That's why you should agree.
Where would this walk take us, officer?
She's thinking, eyes mapping your rugged features.
Nothing creepy, strange, or out there. Keep it airy and simple.
There's a nice view on the beach I found, point northwest at Land's End.
All right. I will walk with you. But you need to understand that nothing is going to happen. We're just walking.
She raises her finger. A good old-fashioned walk. I like it.
Me too. It's been ages since I just had a normal conversation with one of you guys.
She replies with sudden sincerity.
She means men.
I understood what she meant.
Stroll on the beach sounds nice. All right, I guess I'll be seeing you at Land's End in the evening, when it gets dark, all right?
It's already dark.
She doesn't wait for an answer. You better get ready.
Do I go now? What do I do? She walked away. Do I go now? She's not going to yell at me for, like, making her wait forever, is she? Because I literally just asked you for a walk. There she is. Oh, and it auto-saved. Thank you. Oh, thank you.
The woman gazes steadily at the waves. A sudden gust picks up her dark hair and lets it fall again, tousled, wild. She brushes a few stray locks from her eyes and only then spots you approaching.
Aye, so here you are. It's late and it's raining. Water is cold. Ice cold.
She puts her hands out and lets the rain fall on her palms.
Know that you're not the first guy to bring a girl to Land's End. This is what the locals call a make-out spot. That is not going to happen here today. I just want to make that clear, Dimples.
She turns to face the sea once more.
Her thoughts are still elsewhere, with distances across the water, and with the water itself. Across the rusty water, that's La Delta, the financial district. In the mist-covered distance, towers rise as a rebuke to the poverty of this coast.
Look at her, you seem surprised that I made it.
Drinking men aren't known for keeping their appointments.
I'm actually quite good at scheduling. It's a rock star thing, tardiness. Sorry you had to wait. Wouldn't miss it for the world. I'm trying to be a responsible grown-up.
So this is what this is? Responsible?
No.
Well, maybe it is. Maybe you'll have a revelation and crack whatever you're on.
Yeah, it's a good influence on me.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves now.
Her laughter is throaty and warm. It rhymes with the sunlit waves and the cries of the gulls.
I've been sober for more than an entire day now.
I've seen quite a few of those first days. Aye. Still, good for you.
She nods to you, a playful glint in her eyes. So we've already reached 2 o'clock and I got experience, so maybe it is dependent. Because I thought it was just, like, advancing time, but maybe it is dependent on what you pick.
As she turns to face the sun, reflected in the waves, and the skyscrapers rising across the bay, you cannot help following her steady gaze. You should say something, anything. Maybe the tequila sunset thing.
Past incarnation of myself called himself Tequila Sunset. I wonder why that is. Sure. We're here to talk. Let's talk.
It's a common Revacholian expression. Means drinking yourself to death.
Oh.
Oh, indeed.
I found a corpse recently? I guess she's seen her fare of troubles on the sea. He had a Tequila Sunset moment.
And what about you? Keeping the name?
Tequila Sunset all the way. I think I'm good with Harry or Dubois these days. Harry's my name. I don't need any others. Prefer just going by my initials. This is a new model of me. It'll need a new name. I'm probably going to drink myself to death, whatever name I choose. I think I'm just good with Harry or Dubois these days.
Well then, Officer Dubois.
She nods to you, then turns toward the sunlit sea.
The remains of the dying sun are reflected in the waves and the skyscrapers rising across the bay. Your mind clears for a moment as your senses take it all in. Not just the glass skyscrapers, fragile looking in the shimmering air. River Esperance flowing into the bay.
Isn't it strange for this all-powerful thing, the sun, to be so generous towards us? You know, the best time to go out fishing is usually towards sunset, when the water is warmer.
The sun also falls on the Capeside tenements and war-torn ruins. An old sea fortress juts out, seemingly impervious to the sheen cast over everything else, shaking you out of your reverie. The sun does little for the dead, and those hopelessly lost in their own minds. Or people living in desert climates with sparse vegetation and little drinking water.
Is that why you named your boat the Sun?
Oh, that was a bit of pride and a bit of superstition.
And a bit of conceptual unity too, it being yellow and all.
I'm not sure desert people are happy with too much sunlight.
Now you're just nitpicking. But I concede, maybe desert people sometimes disagree.
Enjoy the view.
There's salt in the air, and the cries of the gulls and the skuas, grit of the sand and the green glint of broken bottles. But still your gaze always returns to the dazzling streaks of light, wherever they may be reflected, their fading opulence.
It's bringing us spring, summer. It's entirely on our side, no matter what we do or who we are, for absolutely no reason. It's unlike no other powerful being, certainly no powerful organization or government. How can that be?
Well, the Sun isn't exactly an organization.
No. And it will outlive them all.
She smirks.
Maybe some general remarks before you say something big. Work your way up to the cool.
You have fish hooks in your ears.
These aren't real fish hooks, silly. They're earrings shaped to look like fish hooks. A drunk called Rosemary brought them to me. I kept them.
She's right. They're made mostly of plastic, A cheap novelty gift you can buy from a flower shop or a kiosk. The wind ruffles her hair, silver-streaked in the moonlight.
You have an interesting lit in your voice.
Thank you. I'm half Ubi. My mother was from Ubi Sunt. Not a lot of sun there, I hear, though I've never been.
The wind ruffles her hair, silver-streaked in the moonlight.
Do you wish you were out there fishing right now?
I always do. I like it. It's like being on another planet, a water planet, with water worries and water joys.
The wind ruffles her hair, silver-streaked in the moonlight.
I don't want to bring up the Hanged Man, so something nice about the sun, hopefully. Fingers crossed. I failed it.
What? Something interesting.
No, I really wanted that.
Impossible.
I really, really wanted that. Please, this is important. The sun thing was very pretty, and I'm sorry I don't have anything to add.
Thank you. Out there on the other planet, the sea, you start seeing things in a strange light. I'm glad I got to share it. You know, the wind's going to pick up soon, and I have to go, but...
She takes her sword out of the scabbard. The blade shines in the gathering dark.
Have this.
What?
The sun's good, but it doesn't stick things. I've no use for it anymore.
You don't need it?
No. Men around here are too drunk to pose a threat to me.
Do you think we could do this again sometime?
Doubt it. But thank you for the company.
She smiles sadly.
This is as far as it goes with her. You'd need to put a year between you and your last drink for anything more.
Thank you for coming on this walk with me.
Farewell.
She nods to you and turns to go. That was really sweet.
As she walks off, the wind picks up, and the light from the sun seems to fade. The crumbling silhouette of failed electrical R&D towers in the distance, beckoning.
Aww. Well, I had a nice time. Let's look at this sword. Well, she gave it to me. Equip this to impress yourself. The blade of this mass-produced saber has dulled over the years and won't slice or stab anyone. It still commands respect in your hand, however. Holding on to its bakelite hilt fills you with a sense of purpose and a memory of the date. Alright. I think we're done. I think we've done everything we can do. I think we're gonna go sleep now.
The bed is comforting.
Sleep.
A bit run down. Still, you've earned a rest. The bed underneath you is soft, if lumpy. Waves wash the sand underneath the hut, then grow distant to your ear. In the quiet hum of the organic heater, you fall asleep.
Like a deftly cast fishing net, sleep pulls you out of the world and into its dark shore. The rough mesh chafes, tightening around you, it digs into your brain.
Great, this is gonna be really chill.
How have things been going for you out there? Helped anyone lately? Saved anyone lately? Murdered anyone lately?
This bastard isn't even listening to you.
Because you know you are a murderer. A disco music listening psycho killer who offs poor people and then forgets about it.
Shut up, I just want to sleep.
Hear that? Iceman wants to sleep. He doesn't care about killing people. That's nothing to him. Black water under the bridge. the thing he's really scared of is much, much worse than that.
What is it?
Don't tell him, sister. It's too bad.
They're right. This is their function. To keep you from it.
I just want to sleep. Why are you doing this?
We're trying to help you. All these processes, these tortures, voices and tremors are all just distractions, flares and countermeasures to keep you from the last dream. The worst of them all.
The last dream?
The last dream will be total annihilation. Cinders peeling off the fuselage. We won't be there to help you anymore, Harry. We will be dormant. You will be naked and alone.
The air will smell of apricots. Her face forms in summertime. I don't want to anymore. I don't want to think either one of those things.
Oh, but you will. You're already going there. Slipping. How long can we keep you from the precipice? One more dream? 2 max, baby. Then it's
The air will smell of apricots.
of hell. An ancient sadness, brother. 10,000 years later, in front of the video rental, there is a warm breath on your face again. Everything is okay again.
Everything is so okay.
Doesn't sound like it'll be okay.
Your eyelids flutter open for a moment. When you close them again, you sense the light of the room around you. You're back. In 2 seconds, the alarm will ring.
The last thought in your head before waking is, maybe you shouldn't have seen that stained glass window in the church.
Open your eyes. Oh man. Oh. Can you get up? I can't leave. How do I leave? There we go. Like, where's the door to leave? What's the skill? Is it physical? What gives you more? What's this? More health. +1 health. Endurance. Don't let the world kill you. Okay, there we go. I can't put a point into that. I put a point into persuading her to go on that date. Alright. I may need to put a point into that.
Yes?
Nothing. Will you play this board game with me?
The Suzerainty box is heavy and slightly awkward in your hands. You give it a light shake and feel the pieces shift around inside.
Kim, you wanna play?
The lieutenant looks over the rulebook before he sees something that makes his eyes go wide.
Holy shit. The average playing time for this game is 1 to 6 hours. I'm not sure we can afford to set aside that kind of time for a game.
But Kim, my suggestion's really high now.
What is detective work if not an elaborate game? You need logical inference, attention to detail, the ability to analyze your opponent's motives.
It might help us think of more creative solutions to the case.
I do feel like my thinking has become somewhat rigid. Maybe a little diversion to keep the mind limber is just what's in order.
See? He's doing the hard work himself. All he needed was a little nudge.
Alright, you've convinced me. How do we play?
I read the rules already, although I don't understand them.
You explain the basic setup procedures to the lieutenant, who seems to be a quick study. You each take your bag of tokens and counters and unfold the board between you. In the center is the crown of Revachon. Radiating outward are her colorful vessels, each one supplying some raw material desired by the suzerain. Apricots from Safre, archaeological treasures from Ilmarat, sugars from the Seminine Islands, and magenta cocaine from Supra Muindi and Sarah Maritza. There's also a neat little log to keep track of your progress in case you need to put the game away and return to it later. The lieutenant goes first. He draws a contract card and moves several of his workers to the Safre territory of the board, and the others to the Seminine Islands.
All right, detective, your turn.
You have a few options available to you. Will you try to fulfill contracts right away or rearrange your workers to maximize production on future turns? Remember what the rulebook said. You'll want to choose a strategy early on and stay committed to it.
I don't want to do what Kim did. Try to rearrange your workers. Let's try to let's do workers.
What is the very beginning of the game? Your workers haven't even done any work yet.
Okay, make them work a little, but not too much.
That's more like it. You produce a handful of archaeological treasures and a smattering of other resources. Meanwhile, the lieutenant spends 2 of his sugar and 1 of his apricot tokens to complete his contract card. He is rewarded with 4 coins and a round wooden token that he places in the center of the board.
That's a market. It's worth 2 victory points.
Okay. I didn't get one of those because I didn't fulfill a contract. Can I do my first turn over? I think I messed up.
Come on, detective. Don't be a spoiled sport. You'll have plenty of chances to earn your own points.
Okay.
What is that patronizing tone? Someone needs to put the lieutenant in his place.
Just glower silently.
The lieutenant returns your baleful look with a satisfied grin.
He's having fun.
Glancing over the board, you see several possible strategies. Pressing more workers into service would increase your economic output and help you to survive a possible conflict with the lieutenant. Or you could ignore your labor supply and focus on fulfilling contracts for points and resources. Those aren't your only options. You could also show your workers how much you appreciate them by investing some of that wealth in them. After all, they're the ones producing wealth for the suzerain. Well, sure, you can do that. It's just not a terribly effective strategy, but then it's up to you.
Press more workers into service. Because we said keep with the same strategy, so.
Using your powers of persuasion, you convince more workers to join your cause. After several turns, your worker tokens greatly outnumber the lieutenants. A vast army of expendable labor is at your command.
Gaze on your workers like a harsh but proud deity.
Too bad investing in your workers just isn't worth many points.
What do you mean?
Take a look at the scoring tables in the back.
The lieutenant turns to one of those appendices you skipped over earlier.
You see in Table 8C that investing in territorial infrastructure multiplies your final victory point total by 1, which is to say not at all. Whereas erecting monuments in Revachol gives you a multiplier of 5.
So the values of the ruling class are completely divorced from the well-being of the people who generate their wealth.
Yes, precisely.
Now it's the lieutenant's turn to respond. He moves aggressively onto the Safre territory. Soon, his workers are producing a steady supply of extremely valuable apricots. How can you let the lieutenant dominate you like that? You need to hit back, and hard. For several turns, you struggle to respond to the lieutenant's burgeoning apricot empire. Eventually, you relocate the majority of your workers to Supremawindi and Sarah Maritza, where they begin producing a bumper crop of cocaine tokens. You draw a new contract card. According to the text, there's an aristocrat willing to trade a large supply of cocaine for a number of coins and access to a rare bonus. amplified music worth 7 victory points. Oh yeah, baby. Cocaine and rock music go together like cocaine and rock music. You know, this isn't unlike the situation the historical Revacholian Suzerainty faced in Safre in the middle of the last century.
Tell me more.
Well, the Suzerain was looking for new markets for all the cocaine it was producing, and it settled on Safre. By introducing cocaine into Safre under exclusive contract, the Suzerain created an extremely valuable captive market for an extremely addictive product.
That's fucked up.
If you could somehow get the lieutenant's workers addicted to your cocaine, you could not only make them less productive, you would also force the lieutenant to pay you for your cocaine tokens each turn.
Can I do that?
Yes, you can. It's right there in the rules.
Excuse me?
Now's your chance. Show the lieutenant what happens when he patronizes you. You've reached a critical strategic juncture. How do you respond to the lieutenant's aggression?
Sorry, Kim, you're not gonna like this. Oh my god. Oh. The lieutenant's face goes stony as you take your turn. He does not appreciate you getting all his workers addicted to cocaine.
With each passing turn, you slowly bleed the lieutenant of coins as his own workers become less productive and more dependent on your magenta cocaine tokens.
Oh my god, this game is terrible.
As a matter of historical fact, this is almost exactly what happened in Safre. To this day, fully half of the former Safre Empire remains dependent on international aid in exchange for a steady supply of cheap produce.
Isn't this what they did in the Apricot Serenity in real life?
More or less.
The lieutenant says, but he's thinking less about matters of historical wrongdoing than how to get out of the jam you've put him in.
Realizing victory is slipping away, the lieutenant launches a desperate gambit: protectionism. By erecting tariffs on your cocaine, he hopes to starve you out of the market at the risk of incurring the Suzerain's disfavor. The end game is upon you. Do you escalate the trade war with the lieutenant in hopes of crushing him with your economic might? Or do you ignore his aggression and focus on building the mighty victory column structure in Revachol herself? Alternatively, you could throw the whole game away by trying to build a public education system for the children of your workers. The choice is yours.
Go for the victory column. It's on, Kim. Launch a trade war.
The lieutenant nods gravely as you erect tariffs against his apricots and sugar. This is going to get ugly. With every turn, tariffs are raised until neither you nor the lieutenant are producing any income or generating resources for the Suzerain.
Is this going to end in a stalemate?
Even in the best of cases, it's impossible to really win a trade war. But this is far from the best case, and the lieutenant's apricot-powered economic engine crushes yours. Soon, your coffers are empty, and the map lies strewn with your worker tokens.
I hope you learned your lesson.
The lieutenant says with a sharp smile. Yeah, never get involved in trade war in Selinde.
Never fuck with Kim Kitsuragi. Now, let's tally up the scores, shall we?
Computing the final scores is almost a game unto itself. You each spend an inordinate amount of time making stacks of coins, consulting tables, and struggling with basic addition and multiplication. After double, then triple checking your maths, you have your final score. -5 victory points.
What?
You'll be lucky if the Suzerain doesn't have your whole family executed for such a pitiful performance.
I've got 15 points.
He says with a slight smirk on his face.
Don't look too glum, detective. There's always next time. Figuratively, I mean. There's no way we have time to play this game again. Now, let's clean up and get back to work.
That was fun.
You hold the open game box before you.
I knew the trade war probably wasn't what we wanted to get into, but it was also like, it sounded like the most fun. All right, let's go. I want to handle this. Oh, except I'm not in the right place.
Hardcore aesthetic. Oh yes, drugs. We're talking about drugs. Let's face it, these flirtations with the hardcore aesthetic have all been leading up to one question. Can I do drugs harder now that I'm a hard cop? And the answer is yes. You can. You can do one more blast of pyrrolidon and yellow shit powder. You can even pull a ciggy and a lager on top of that. There, you've truly made the hardcore your own thing now.
We're not doing that. +1 endurance, really useful for doing drugs. +1 for volition, same thing. Alright, we're losing that one. Because I wanted to carry around... Oh, I can't lose it. I've used all my skill points. Alright, I gotta lose that skill point. I gotta get... Anyway. I'm carrying around the memory of our date as motivation to stay sober.
I see you haven't left our little Martinez yet. Still running around. Like some kind of cross-country law official.
I still have a case to solve.
Hi. I guess you do. What's on your mind, Officer Harry? The sea's gonna calm down soon.
I thought I was gonna have all those options. Tell her this place was growing on me. Alright, you can let me teleport now. Thank you. It's very finicky. You have to be in a very, very specific spot. Ooh. Can I ask you about, Wait, you're by yourself. Where's Renee?
Officer, care to play a game with the lonely old man?
The jolliness is gone from Gaston's face. What?
Actually, never mind. Wouldn't be the same.
Where's Renee?
The prick is gone. I can barely believe it. But he's really gone.
Gone where?
Hell, most likely. He was an absolute Kent.
How did he die exactly?
His hungry little heart finally gave out. The dock workers found him in the guard booth this morning. Wasn't even supposed to be working for another week, but he just had to prove how tough he is.
Did he feel like he has to prove he can still pull his weight? Doesn't need handouts?
Guess he was about to head home, 'cause when the dock workers found him, he was wearing civilian clothes and not the Kuketu uniform I saw him in all the time. Sometimes I thought he was wearing it just to piss me off. Now the joke's on him, 'cause he's gonna be buried without it.
Do you think our conversation about his job pushed him to go out there?
No. René was the most stubborn man in Revachol. Nothing you or I could say would ever push him to do anything. The man was completely immovable.
He has doubts, but right now, he just wants to move on and not think about it.
Was he really that bad?
I repeat, an absolute Kent. Even his old army buddies didn't want him around. He was like an old viper. The only people who could stand to be around him were Jenny and me. She saw something in him when we were just kids and she never lost sight of it. And I thought if the most beautiful being in the world can love him, then there must be something worth holding on to.
Did you love him?
We've hated each other our entire lives. So much, in fact, that...
He falls silent and looks at you, his eyes filling up with tears.
Yes, I loved that angry prick. He didn't deserve it, but I did. You know what his last words to me were?
Something mean?
In Guillaume's time, you'd have been shot without trial. That's what he said to me.
He lived a cunt, and he died a cunt. Let's leave it at that.
Something to remember your friends by? Give him the photograph of Renee and the girl.
Let me see. This was 60 years ago. We all went to that parade. Young Renee looked so happy, and Jenny.
Eyes blurry with tears, he has to stop.
I'm sorry, officer. I just... Thank you. Thank you for this little memorabilia. It really means the world to me.
He dries his eyes.
That was nice. A small thing for us, but invaluable to him. He probably didn't even know René had the photo.
I offer my sincere condolences.
Yes, we are both very sorry for your loss.
It is what it is. Part of life, really. But to know someone for 79 years, then one day they're just gone.
Yeah.
I just don't know anymore. About anything, really. But you must need something.
Can I go over a few more things about Renee, if that's okay?
Yes.
Oh, that's
What
it.
about Renee?
Nothing.
Yes.
Okay.
It is I just don't know. Officer,
Okay. I wanted to ask him about the guy that I can't think of right now. The guy that we talked to and said he was his social teacher. Hardy.
The Coppernado is back. What do you want?
Need your help. There's an old catatonic lady in the fish market on the other side of the bay and she needs help.
What's that, Copper? You want us to help little old ladies now?
You're local law enforcement, aren't you? Helping troubled civilians should fall under your jurisdiction.
Exactly.
Yeah. We'll send someone out. Who is? Wait. It's the pigs, isn't it?
Mm-hmm, that's the one.
God. Poor lady. Don't worry. We'll handle this. I think she got some family and could wrong on something. Bastards left her alone when she got sick. We've been getting complaints.
Hey, wasn't Everard's B team looking for her the other day? They said something about her, I don't know, finding something?
Like a gun?
Yeah, I think you're right, Gene. She have something of yours, Pig.
Whatever you do, do not admit to these punks you lost your gun. You will suffer if you do.
Nope, she didn't have anything of mine.
No? Well, whatever then, Copper.
Titus chugs his beer down and wipes his mouth.
No. They totally said what it was. What was it? Anyone remember?
I don't remember. I was fucking drunk.
Let me know if you figure it out back there. Now, anything else we can help you with?
What's her name? Her real name?
Auntie LaPlante, we always called her. Something LaPlante.
Marianne, amigo.
He pours himself another drink. Morianne LaPlante.
Anything else you wanted to know?
Who was she?
Was, like before. Just an old lady. Her kids moved away years ago. Never come to visit. Never took her calls. She gets out every now and then. She did right by lots of us when we were kids. Always was a little off, but still.
Us kids? That must have been ages ago. She was better then. The children kept her together.
How'd she get like this?
Wanted to be a cop, you mean? Well, shit. I don't actually know. Anyone know why she started acting like a pig?
No fucking clue. It's gotta be the crazy. Who'd want to be a pig?
Someone who wanted to set the world right before it ends? More like who wouldn't? Cool uniforms, fast machines, packing heat, sign me up. The first one.
No, I didn't. Because I'm not fucking stupid, Polizonte.
Yeah, Carl. That's some pretty fucking weird shit to say. The pigs level weird. but whatever gets you through the day.
He shrugs. Where'd she get all her cop gear?
Dunno. She lives by the water. Shit washes up all the time on the beach.
Police paraphernalia doesn't just wash up on the coast, people. It's not like we dump it at night. She bought it, collected it.
Station 41. A man carries a crate of rusted, unused badges. You think these would net us something at the annual auction? A balding detective drags a comb futilely across his head. Shit, who'd want those? Just dump them into the river.
Thanks for helping out with this one.
No problem, old cop man. We take care of our mentally ill here in Martinez. Ain't that right, boys?
Sure enough, we're the real heroes on these streets.
Eugene raises his glass in a toast. Bye. Let's go talk to her.
Hello, dear. It's good to see a familiar face.
I restocked the empty trap. Where's Morel?
Thank you for doing that, dear.
She manages a smile for you.
Her smile is weary. Her earlier ebullience has left her.
Oh, no.
Morel still isn't feeling well. I convinced him to stay at Gary's to get some rest. I'm afraid the cold has really gotten to him.
Only the hardcore players left, huh? It's probably for the best. It's awfully cold out there in those reeds.
I'm sorry, dear. You've had to drudge through them so many times. Such is field work. A young person's game, as they say.
Her voice is shaky. What is going on here?
Who's going to check the traps?
Morel will eventually, or we'll talk Gary into going back out, perhaps.
The lieutenant stares at his shoe, caked in mud. He doesn't say anything.
Once more into the breach, then. Take it on with undue optimism.
That really is too much, sweetie. Thank you for your dedication, but I can see you're coming down with a cough yourself.
Very strange. Why is she not letting you do this? It's like she's given up.
What's wrong? You seem different.
Different? How?
The half moons of her glasses reflect you as she looks at you. You've given up on the phasmid.
I'm in doubt, sweetie. That's all. Everyone is now and then.
What are you in doubt about?
It's a strange feeling. I haven't really told this to anyone, but you are a police officer.
And when a police officer asks, you must answer.
Do you ever wonder if some lovely story from your childhood is just that? A story? Or a dream? Seeing the Insulindian phasmid was just a story I used to tell people. I didn't really think about whether it was real or not.
But Morel said you'd seen it. You also told me.
Morel's so proud of it. He always tells everyone.
A terrible sting in the heart. Regret.
You seem to really believe it happened. Does that count? Doesn't that count for something?
No, sweetie. There's more to it than that. Morel was so eager to believe my story was evidence of the phasmid's existence. That I'm some queen of the cryptozoologists. That. And for years, his belief made me believe too.
That I am a queen? An extraordinary witness to grace.
But now, we're both getting old, and he's still working himself sick out in those reeds looking for it. But what if I was just wrong? I think I was.
She shakes her head, still unable to meet your eyes.
The lieutenant opens his notebook, but doesn't write anything. He's hiding. These things are tough on him. Matters of love, not violence or deceit.
First, tell her that her marriage hasn't been a lie.
An acorn is not the same as the tree. That requires time, diligence, and care.
And I need something good here.
All qualities these two seem to share in abundance.
Wrong or not, your relationship with Morel isn't just about the phasmid.
But it is. We've spent years searching for the phasmid, hunting it together. Without it, what are we? Just another pathetic old couple.
That is not true.
If I hadn't led him down this path, he could have a steady job lecturing at a university.
Morel hated lecturing. You convinced him to do something real in this world.
But if the dream comes to naught, what good is it? No, the thing is...
She looks down at her legs.
I was a paraplegic before we met. He didn't know before I arrived. On our first date. If I weren't the queen of the cryptozoologists... If I didn't tell him that story...
No.
She has to swallow to relax her throat. It's keeping her from talking.
He'd still be into you. That's not how these things work.
Maybe. But then why do I not dare tell him? I've wasted enough of your time with this drama. I really must stop talking about it lest I start crying and waste more of your time. What you have to know is the Insulindian phasmid probably does not exist. Let us fools chase our ghosts. There are a million better things to do with your life.
Are there? Some of the other things are pretty bad.
You're not sure you made it up either.
I'm not sure of anything. Sometimes I still see it, you know. The real memory. Not the memory of the memory, but it's so hard to tell the two apart.
Rising, unfolding from the reeds on a hot summer's day, like a benevolent god.
Either way, I should go. Poor Morel is running a fever, and I need to get him home to Jamrock before we overstay our welcome with Gary.
You sure you don't need help getting to Gary's? You do that, I'll check the traps one more time.
Really?
Yes!
Oh, sweetie. Please don't get stuck on a dream. Take it from me and Morel.
It's just something fun to do.
No one can stop you from finding the phasmid.
Can I have your address in case there's news?
Okay, it's 1113 Tabernacle Road, Jamrock, but...
A sigh. She doesn't think you'll need it.
Do you need help getting to Gary's?
Oh no, thank you, but I can get there on my own. This old thing is gas-powered. And then a taxi home. It's not so bad.
Oh, careful out there. It's been a pleasure.
Likewise, sweetie. Thank you for everything. Truly. Even though it turned out to be a...
The sentence remains unfinished.
A waste of time.
No, it's not a waste of time.
A dream.
Yeah.
A fool's hope. Say her lips moving in silence. Like that, she drives off. The gas engine mutters quietly as she gets to the doors, then pushes them open. Outside, the cold, coastal wind blows.
We should go too.
Somewhere out there, a kilometer to the southeast, a gust of wind shakes the felled building, rattling dusty windows, beckoning with strange coldness, to ask the wind once more.
I will check the traps one more time, because I feel like it.